Good afternoon, everybody. I am live with the amazing Alexis Fedor, who is joining me live from New York City. Hello, Alexis.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being here today. And we are going to do a brand reveal with Alexis's new brand that we've been working on over the past few months. So, the first thing before we dive right into it and do the reveal and talk about strategy and things like that, I would just love to hear what exactly prompted you to want to work on rebranding in the first place and why you thought that I was the expert to go with.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, really, I I was very happy with my website as it was, but honestly, the website that I have now, I created with a web developer, and I myself am not a brand expert, so I was just putting together the kind of website that I knew I could use for my marketing and, that I liked personally. I was like, happy to share with people. And then it was, you and I had dinner together and you were talking to me. I actually had questions about what it means to brand your business. And we got into a deeper discussion about that. And for me, it just made so much sense. To make some changes, to just adjust really. We're not changing drastically. We're just moving in a clearer direction for how my business has grown and, how it's evolved. So I really just loved that you were super clear about what branding really is, especially for this kind of business. And yeah, it was just so specific that it just made so much sense to me.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And it's true, sometimes people completely outgrow their brand and it's time to reinvent the wheel and start over, or they pivot or things like that. But like you said, you had something that you were happy with, but you've grown so much, you're doing amazing, and you're like, well, why not just take it to the next level, which is what we're doing. And it's been such a fun journey. So thank you. And I love working with you because you are an artist and you teach other artists how to create a business. So can you, for those of you who are not familiar too, I'd love for you to explain who you are, what your business is, and that will help too as we do the reveal. Then people will be like, oh, it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm so happy to. So, that was a big part of me wanting to work with you as well, because I am a performance artist, a dancer, and an actor, and a writer. And I have never really had a website for my performance art or for my writing. Even when I was working as an editor, I did not have a website for my services. I maybe had like one landing page and that was it. So when we were talking, my question had always been, and then on the business side, what I do is I help artists create online businesses with and for their art. So I really help them understand how to do online marketing. And so as an artist specifically. So my question had always been, how do I bridge the gap between my business helping other artists and myself as an artist? And that was a conclusion we came to. You had a solution for that immediately, and I loved it. So that's what we've been working on, is combining the two.
Yes, yeah. And I love that too. And I talk so much about that, we are, as humans, multidimensional beings. Yes, you have your business, and some people, that's their sole focus and that's fine, but you always have these other outlets, especially with you. You have so much that you do, so why not showcase that as well? And sometimes it's confusing. Do you put it all on one platform or do you put it on multiple? So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump in and we can do the brand reveal and then talk a little bit about the strategy. So I will share my screen. So this is the document that everyone that I work with ends up getting when we complete their brand. And so, Alexis, I'm showing them the brand guide. I know since you're on here with me, you probably can't see it live. But the first thing we do is really dive deep into your specific values, your specific vision that you have, and your specific superpowers, as we call it, for the world. So really, with your artisan business, we talked about it's all about creativity, strategy that you're bringing to the table for these people, and then the mentoring that you bring. So accountability, empowering them, very supportive, and things like that. And then we walk into the logo. So we went through quite a few iterations, and I really loved working with you too, because you know what you like. You know your aesthetics, you do that. So pretty much as soon as I showed the concepts to you, you were on it and you're like, this is it. And we did a few tweaks, but out of the variations that I gave you, you were like, nope, that's it. Let's do it. So that was really fun.
It was so true. I feel like we got to, we made those two decisions fairly quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And by the way, too, I want to say hello and thank you. I can see some people joining us and some thumbs up. So please say hello in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. I just want to keep it somewhat focused. So I'm not going to pay too much attention to the comments. But if you have any questions or comments or anything, please do drop them in. Love to hear from you. So that is the main logo, the artisan business. So this is the viewpoint. And that's the other thing I want to talk about too. A lot of times in a brand, people think that they just need to go with one. So right now you have the Alexis Fedor website, and we are actually splitting that into two, which I'll talk about in a moment. But that also allows you to have two logos, but you want to keep consistent. So with your umbrella brand, we're aligning you and positioning you as an expert, as an artist, and then you have your business. So the next logo is your personal logo, which is really beautiful. It's a little bit messy. You love flowers. So that was really fun for me to play with you as an artist and really capturing your personality. But then if you look at the two together, they don't have the same aesthetics, but they blend together at the same time.
Yeah, right. I feel like they really coincide in specific ways.
Yeah. And then if we go into the colors, I'll just touch on this really briefly. That's one thing that we actually pretty much kept from your brand that you have currently. So if you go to Alexis's website, it hasn't been updated yet. This is her brand reveal. But you'll see that these colors are pretty much reflected. And like she said, she had quite an aesthetic that she already loved. We're simply taking it to the next level. So sometimes the colors completely change for people. And then sometimes if you love it and it works for your ideal audience, why completely reinvent the wheel? Mm-hmm. So you have that perfect pink and things like that. Now what we did change was some of the fonts. So we have your new font, which is Railway, which is a really clean, modern font. And then the Ritaba, which is used kind of once in a while for your signature and in little areas that you can blend in. But that's really kind of a funky font, so you probably won't use it super often. And then we talk about the photography and the visual essence. And so this is really the really fun part. So we worked together and I talked to your photographer. You actually had 2 different photo shoots. And so I worked on the creative direction. And since you are so visual and an artist, then you got to put your 2 cents in as well. And we collaborated on what would this look and feel of the new brands be together. And so this was a mood board that I put together originally that showed you as the expert, showed the colors, how they could work together, showed the infusion of the flowers, and then also, how you can feature your ideal clients. And then ultimately, we came up with a look and a feel for the website, which is still being completed, but I really love how we integrated some of the photos with you. Like you said, you're a dancer, you're a writer, you're this multi-dimensional person with all these different things going on. So we have these photos of you in movement and flowing and moving. So if you could talk a little bit about your perspective of like doing the photo shoot and how that worked, that would be amazing.
Yeah, so first of all, the mood board that you created sparked so many ideas. It's such an important part of the process, and I so appreciated it because, as I said, I was very happy with my current website, and I wanted to sort of take that to the next level. I just had no idea what that could look like. So that was super helpful. It also helped my photographer understand on a certain level. And then there was, I think, a little bit of a misunderstanding on her end the first time. So we just went back and did a second shoot because of that. She recognized that too, and that was it was really eye-opening for me to understand, like, you know, how in things can get lost in translation, or just really understanding, like, again, what branding really is, because I feel like that was the part that's such an important thing that you bring to the forefront that so many people don't quite get. You know, they think they get it, but then they're still missing something. So the first time we did our shoot, we just had to and it was like, you know, I just went back, and it was kind of like a half shoot we did to kind of make up for it. But that second round, she really got it. She really got underneath what we were going for. So, yeah, I'm just feeling now like the combination of logo with photos is really bringing forward. Can you actually talk more about the heart of branding? Because it's really, for me, it's bringing forward, like, you explain what a hero shot is. You explain, you know, the positioning of these other shots and, like, what the significance is. I just feel like more people need to hear that. Because once you get it, then you're like, oh, this is a piece of cake, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. No, thank you for asking that. And it's so interesting, too. I think, you know, when we live, breathe, and eat our crafts. So for you, you can talk all day about how, as an artist, to market yourself. And I talk about branding. We don't realize you don't know what you don't know. So, yeah. I think that's the main thing, is to look at it as a holistic viewpoint. So many people look at, I don't want to say this in a weird way, but like putting lipstick on a pig. I've been saying that a lot lately, because it's really is what people think of as branding is the visual essence and making it look nice. And of course the aesthetics are important, but I think what you're getting to is the fact that you want to look at where you want to take your business in the future. So I really love to help people and say, like, where does this look? So when we had that discussion, you had your business, which is super important to you, but you also have all of the things that are important to you on a personal level. And how does that encapsulate everything together? How can that be cohesive together? And how can you create a vision 5-10 years out? And I help people reverse engineer so they have a great brand that they can really grow into. It's not just creating the brand for the now. It's allowing you to plan and be really strategic as you move forward.
I think that right there was so important for me, because what you call holistic is really it's the anchor of your business. So, like, it's the purpose behind why you're doing really anchors your business for yourself and for your clients. And for me, it's all about that. I call it the why theme, actually. Like, I'm always asking my artists, what is your why theme, your overall purpose for what you're doing? If you can contextualize that for people, then they'll understand more about what they're resonating with and what you sell and what you have to offer. And it's the same for me. So this is where we took things to a whole new level, is incorporating that and making it that personal. And that's where the first photo shoot was missing something, because it was missing that part. The second time, she was like, I totally get it now. And we're really going to get the essence of you and what you represent. And it's important for everyone to be on the same page. Your questionnaire was so powerful for that. And I showed that to my photographer too. So that we all understand what we're going for.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, for bringing that up, because it is such a great point. And then also moving forward, you know, I've been working with your web developer to make sure that that's heading in a straight direction. It's the same thing. If somebody hasn't been part of the process from the beginning, I stay on typically to art direct that. And you're a busy entrepreneur. You traveled to Italy during this time. You were, you know, in New York. You were visiting family. So to have somebody, I'm guessing, kind of hold the reins together with the different team members is really important too, because you're running a business, you can't be there all the time to make sure everything's going. So we're still working on that final process of the website, but it's the same thing there. I'm making sure that the web developer is understanding the direction that we created and the ideas that we had. And then you get to come in and say, yes, that's it. No, that's not. Let's tweak this a little bit. But then it stays consistent throughout, which is really, really important, obviously. Okay, so the next step, I would just quickly love to show people a little bit more of the strategy. So you talked about how important it was at the beginning when we talked about how you can include your personal brand and your business together. So what we're actually doing is taking and creating 2 websites for you. And this doesn't happen for everybody. Like I said, Alexis is extra special because she has so many personal passions and she just has so much going on. So we actually split it where the artist and business website will still live on its own. And as you can see in this content map, it really is focused on the business. And then we have this side menu, which then directs you back to her personal site. So then it talks about her personal art, her personal view on marketing, her speaking, her press releases and things like that. And she also has an amazing, some swag, I guess you could say. So like she has this other logo that was developed before I came into play with just this really cool heart that she puts on t-shirts and other things. So that's all there. And then on her About page, that also leads back to the Alexis Fedor site. So then if we go to that site, that's all really based on her personal mission, her personal projects. You talked about like creating so many different things that you want to release in the next few years. So all of your featured products, past products, things like that. But then that also ties back into the Work With Me section, which goes back to the artist and business site. So they're really collaborative and cohesive and all have the same sort of aesthetics in the end. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know if you wanted to mention anything on top of that, just how that's going to offer some changes for your business, like we talked about in the beginning. Really it'll give you a platform personally.
Oh my gosh. So it's just going to be really for my, for artists in business, it's going to be super focused on, very streamlined. So I think the key word here is streamlining. I love keeping things simple. And personally for me, and like the more pared down and less steps people need to take, the better. Mm-hmm. So this is like the perfect, again, it's bridging the gap. So we've got artists in business. I'm super happy with everything we're sharing on that site. I love it from a marketing perspective. The flow of it is the journey. It's like when for a website, what you and I discussed is the importance of taking a person, it's as if you're taking a person by the hand and saying, here, do this, now do this, then go here. This is the journey that will take you from point A to point B. Right. And so that is super, taken care of. Secondly, without interfering with that and making it very appealing at the same time, my art site, for myself as an artist, is connected. And on that site, I'm going to be able to share everything that I'm doing and that I have done and what's coming up. And I think it'll also add credibility in places, for people getting to know me for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely, especially since you're practicing what you're preaching in that way, too. You're showing your artwork, and then you're teaching artists how to do the same thing that you're doing. So it's really brilliant. And I know that you're super strong with marketing in general and the ask method and how to take people on that journey through that way, too. So it's great that we can utilize a lot of your existing materials, such as the quiz that's worked so brilliantly for you. And you're not yes, we're changing some of the aesthetics, we're changing the paths and the way things look through and some of the strategy, but the things that have been working, you can keep using. And then it's simply, like we said, just up-leveling a little bit of everything else and just taking it to the next level.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for going on this journey with me today and sharing. I'm super excited, you guys, to share this with you for the Alexis. I have a brand reveal every day this week, and officially doors are open to my next group mastermind experience where we take and reveal brands and we build brands from the bottom up and really go through a transformational process. So I'll be sharing more about that. I'll put a link in the comments if you're interested. I'm not going to spend a lot of time because this is all about Alexis and her site and her vision, but I did want to just offer that to everybody who's watching today. I would love to do what we've done here with Alexis, with your brand, if you're looking and interested in a rebrand. And to wrap up, I would love to share something that we created based off that photo shoot that we talked about that will be front and center on your website, which is the hero video. And this is something too that I've been working with on a lot of clients. You know, as we move into 2020, video continues to be king. And yes, the static shots are really important, but having a conceptual video, whether it's a B-roll of like your life and your artist, or for you, since you're an artist, we got to get really like creative with it, which was super fun. Yeah, it's really important. So I'm going to go ahead and play that briefly here. It doesn't have sound, so I will just narrate a little bit. So this is actually some video work that Alexis did, and then we added graphics to it to make a really impactful movement because, again, if you look at Alexis's current site, she has the flowers. She loved the aesthetics. So this is a lot of the look and the feel, and like we said, just taking it to the next level. And then it ends with her tagline and the new logo. So it's a really beautiful way to capture people's attention and to look and stand out differently online. So yeah, if you want to talk about that experience a little bit too, that would be really fun. I think people, when I talk about video, sometimes people hesitate. They're very used to getting these static photos of them standing or moving, but I would love for you to share what that experience was like.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so one of the most important things for me is to really connect with my audience at all times. And I want them to know that I'm available to them. And that's why I'm constantly doing video on my Facebook page and sending out my content, you know, and especially if no one is in meeting me for the first time. So on my current site, I thought, the static image in my header, I get lots of good feedback on that because of the look that was captured. So it's like it's as if I'm really listening, and I really, really liked that. And I thought, so how can you and how can we take that to the next level? And my when we came up with the idea of video, I was like, that's going to be perfect. So people can really see more of who I am. So for me, that was the perfect choice. The experience of shooting the video was just a breeze. So I was working with a videographer on shooting some videos for my business, and I explained to him what we were doing, and he said, well, I have a green screen, and so let me just bring it, and that's all you need. It's basically was shot against a green screen with doing several shots of me just walking towards the camera, and like acting as if I have flowers in my hands. And you guys took over and added the background and the flowers and just made it look so as beautiful as it is.
Yeah, and again, thank you, because I love working on conceptual projects. So it was so much fun to just realize, you already had great feedback on what existed, and like, again, how can we take it to the next level and make it more interactive and for people to really see that. And it was great because you had about 10-15 takes, and we got to choose which one worked best. And then I worked with my team to really capture that moment. And it's not too long either, which is really important because, people have 7 seconds typically that they engage with you before they might click off. So it's just that really quick hit where people can really get to understand and see you in movement really quickly. So
yeah.
Yay. All right. Well, thank you so much again for being here with me today, Alexis. I'm so excited to put this out into the world and excited to finish the websites for you.
Thank you for having me. This is amazing. And I can't, I mean, for anyone who's thinking about working with Tiffany, I just want to say that she is the most patient and understanding and kind person, on top of already knowing all that she does about branding and marketing. But her knowledge of branding is just so clear. And I think for most entrepreneurs, especially in the digital space, you just have exactly what it takes to create something that stands out and brings to the forefront, your unique talents. So I can't recommend it enough.
Oh, thank you. So sweet. No, I appreciate that. And that's really what I'm trying to do here is make people stand out above that noise that's really starting to happen, and just be unique. And it's amazing. It's such a pleasure to work with people like you who have the unique vision along with that. So thank you so much again. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll be back tomorrow every day this week with a new brand reveal. I've been saving them up for you, so this is super exciting. Thank you again, Alexis, and we'll talk to you soon.